Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan Cam, and there's no horror movie iceberg podcast this week. Russell is on assignment, so I'm flying solo. However, this gave me a perfect opportunity to do a video that I've wanted to do for quite a while. Talk about a movie a franchise rather, that has a new entry coming out next weekend, Final Destination. This is my personal ranking of the Final Destination films. In my opinion, the Final Destination movies are some of the more consistent in horror. There's one bad one, and the rest are, at the very worst, watchable, with the best being, quite frankly, near excellent, in my opinion. So I'm so excited that we're getting another one in the form of Final Destination Bloodlines coming to theaters. I'm looking forward to that. And without any further ado, let's get into the ranking. Usual ranking rules with me. This is not the list. This is my list. Heavily biased opinions here. I'd like to hear about what your favorite Final Destination movie is. Leave it in the comments. I'd love to read what you have to say. And these will not be reviews necessarily. I want to review these movies in full one day. I'm going to be talking about the first Final Destination movie for the 2000 project coming up soon. And I also was a part of a watch party on Jacob Collins' channel where I reacted to the movie as it was happening. But I do want to do a full deep dive into the series one day. But this is just a straight ranking video. I'm going to keep my thoughts brief and move things along as much as I can. Without any further ado, let's dive in. Starting off with number 5. In my opinion, this is the movie that most people think these Final Destination movies are. Just annoying characters meeting their end in creative ways. There's no substance to this movie whatsoever. It's just, what can we do to these very annoying people that would lure people to the movie theater? That's about it. The one redeeming quality that I can muster for this is the opening scene at the NASCAR race. That's legitimately pretty cool. The rest of the time, it's not great. The CGI is some of the worst of the franchise here. The characters are the worst of the franchise. It's all just bad vibes with this one. Talk about a movie that was saved by the ending. And don't get me wrong, there's some good stuff here to enjoy. The bridge stuff is particularly nerve-wracking, but the twist of the movie, which I won't spoil here in case somehow you've never seen this movie, let's just say it shouldn't work, but it somehow does. And I appreciate that if you've paid attention to the series for this long, up to the point where this movie was released in 2011, the movie rewards you for paying attention. That part is greatly appreciated. The rest of the movie is just kind of there, but it is saved by a legitimately awesome ending. Kind of like Saw 3D. I remember when I first watched this, and I wasn't a huge fan. I liked it fine, but I just remember not being that impressed by it. It was the recent rewatch over on 3D Movie Cinema's channel that I gained a new appreciation for this one. The characters are actually tolerable here for the most part. You don't want them all to die. You actually want them to make it out. And there are some kills here that are legitimately nerve-wracking. Like the death of Todd in the shower, that stuff freaked me out. Like seeing his eyes just explode and you just see his eyes turn red, that stuff is gnarly. And then not Dr. Luton, but Miss Luton's death in her house, just intense stuff. And this movie's everlasting legacy, the introduction of Tony Todd as Death. Like, even if you don't like these movies, you've got to appreciate the fact that somebody somewhere saw Tony Todd and said, "You're in our movie and you're going to be Death." Like, that's just perfect casting right there. Legit, the dude only has one scene and he crushes that one scene and leaves no doubt whatsoever. One thing that I will say, though, before I move on, is that for a rejected X-Files script, This movie should not have been as good as it was, but it was.
It's not over yet.
I could just play a clip of the highway scene and just move on, but I'll say a little more than that because this movie actually has not my favorite kills, but definitely some of the more elaborate, and I mean that as a positive. The movie takes the original concept and blows it up, sometimes literally, and makes it more interesting. Like, it has enough connections to the original to make it satisfying. Clear Rivers makes her return. However, here there's enough new stuff, and the new stuff is actually pretty good, to where it makes for a very nice balance. It's not my overall favorite. However, the movie, for a sequel to the original Final Destination, should not have been this good, but it somehow was. Now, I believe Michael has uploaded this video by this point, but if he is not, I did a review with Michael Wolfman Wyndham over on his channel Mega Movie Z, where we did a review of Final Destination 3. If it is up, I will link it in the eye right here. Long story short, Final Destination 3 is the peak of this franchise for me. It has the most gnarly kills, roller coaster, tanning bed, nail gun. Do I need to say anything more? It has the best characters. I mean, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, her entire presence alone just legitimizes this franchise right here. Her whole arc is just fantastic. The movie's brutal in all the right ways, but it's also fun in the right ways, and the movie does not lose its identity. It forges ahead and creates new while also never straying from the roots. I love that. I love the spirit of that. I would also argue that this movie has the darkest ending of any of the Final Destination films. I'd put this ending as even darker than the fifth one. Again, no spoilers. But let's just say they definitely don't make it. Probably in the grand scheme of like third horror films in a franchise, I would rank that up there as one of the better ones. I'd put that right beside stuff like Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors and Halloween 3 Season of the Witch as like third movies in big franchises that are really good when they probably shouldn't have been. But that is my ranking. I am greatly looking forward to Final Destination Bloodlines, and really, there's no wrong answers when it comes to a favorite Final Destination movie, except for 4. If you like 1, if you like 2, if you like 5, I will happily support you and say that is a very good choice. Overall, like I said, the consistency is very much there, and I'm stoked that we're getting at least another one. And I sincerely hope that they do more of these, even though sadly Tony Todd is no longer with us, and that will suck. But hopefully Bloodlines is good. I'm crossing my fingers on that. But like I said at the jump, what did you think? What is your favorite Final Destination movie? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to read what you have to say. My name is Ryan Cam, and I'll see you soon.